Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Crack UPSC CSE English. In our crash course for Targeted Prelims 2021, Inspired, in which we are studying Indian polity. Now in today's session, we'll continue with President of India. Yes, it's my pleasure to welcome you all on Unacademy, India's largest learning platform, where you will get daily life classes, structured courses, unlimited access for live and recorded classes, along with unlimited practice for the live test and mock test. So you can evaluate yourself during your preparation. We 100 plus top educators will guide you throughout your preparation and will assist you in your journey to crack your exams. Yes. So download Unacademy Learning app today and start your preparation. It's me, Rushikesh Inamdar, guiding UPSC aspirants from last 8 years. You can follow me on Unacademy and you can join our Telegram group using this link. Yes, there are a number of aspirants asking doubt, or they're just asking for to start their preparation with any particular subject. So don't worry, on our platform we have 15,000 plus courses, so you can start your preparation with any of the course or subject as per your choice. We have polity, governance and international relations, history, Indian economy, geography and many more. So start your preparation today. Yes, there are options for our paid courses to subscribe, plus or iconic subscription. Yes, here you can use code referral code RBI Live to get 10% discount in your subscription. Again, if you use code this referral code for iconic courses as well, again you will get 10% discount. So do not forget to use code RBI Live to get subscription on our platform. Those aspirants are pursuing their graduation. My suggestion is that go with our iconic subscription where you will get personal coach, study planner and many more benefits. So join today. Yes, here is the announcement for Unacademy Combat. Yes, on 7th March in the morning 11 o'clock we have next Unacademy Combat where chance to win amazing prizes. Yes, these are the option for our combo courses. So friends, again you have freedom to choose any of the course or subscription as per your convenience. We have 12 months, 2 year or 3 year subscription option, and again here you can use code RBI Life to get 10% discount. Yes, so start your preparation. Now we'll start today's topic, continuation with the president. Now in today's session we'll see term, impeachment and vacancy of the president. Yes, as we have covered few points related with the president in previous lecture. Now in today we'll see term, impeachment and vacancy of the president of India. Now in which first we'll see term of president's office. Right, now the president holds office for a term of 5 years. Yes, the president holds office for a term of 5 years from the date on which he enters upon his office. Yes, इसका मतलब जब से प्रेसिडेंट अपॉइंट किए जाते हैं उस डेट से 5 years तक, when he enters upon his office and from that date to 5 years, 5 साल तक कार्यकाल होता है प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया का, देन he can resign from his office at any time by addressing the resignation letter to the president. Yes, if president thinks to resignate from his position, then he can submit his resignation at any time by addressing the resignation letter to the vice president of India. Yes, हमारे राष्ट्रपति यदि वो रिजाइन करना चाहते हैं तो किसी भी वक्त वो रिजाइन कर सकते हैं और वो जो रेजिग्नेशन लेटर होगा वो एड्रेस करेंगे टू द वाइस प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया. यस, नाउ he can also be removed from the office before completion of his term by the process of impeachment. Yes, there is one clause or provision in our constitution. So the president can also be removed from the office before completion of his term or tenure, that is 5 years, by the process of impeachment. Now, the president can hold office beyond his term of 5 years until his successor assumes charge. Yes, यदि राष्ट्रपति उनका जो कार्यकाल है 5 साल का वो 5 साल के बाद भी जारी रख सकते हैं जब तक नए राष्ट्रपति उनका जो ड्यूटीज है और वो जब तक नियुक्त नहीं किए जाते ड्यूटीज के लिए तब तक पुराने प्रेसिडेंट और राष्ट्रपति उनकी जो कार्यकाल है उनका कार्यकाल वो कंटिन्यू कर सकते हैं. राइट, सो द प्रेसिडेंट कैन होल्ड ऑफिस बियॉन्ड हिज टर्म of 5 years until his successor assumes charge. Now, he is also eligible for re-election to that office. He may be elected for any number of terms. Right. So the president is also eligible for re-election to the office of the president and he may be elected for any number of times. So there is no any restrictions or limitation for the re-electing to the office of the president in our constitution, right? But no person except Dr. Rajendra Prasad has occupied the term for 2 times or occupied the office for 2 terms. Yes, means Dr. Rajendra Prasad has only assumed his office as a president 2 terms. Now, in the context of this tenure or the re-election, in the context of USA, where a person cannot be elected to the office of the president more than twice. Yes, so in USA's constitution, there is limitation for the re-election or re-elected the president that he can be elected of the office of the president not more than twice. Yes, means अमेरिका के जो राष्ट्रपति है वो 2 से ज्यादा बार एज अ प्रेसिडेंट नहीं चुने जा सकते. Now, after that we'll see, after the term we'll see impeachment of president. Yes, the president can be removed from office by a process of impeachment for violation of the constitution. Yes, violation of the constitution, the president can be removed from the office by a process of impeachment. Now, our constitution does not define the meaning of the phrase violation of the constitution. Yes, so the impeachment charges can be initiated by either house of parliament. Yes, ये जो impeachment charge है वो किसी भी हाउस के द्वारा इनिशिएट किए जा सकते हैं, which means either राज्यसभा और लोकसभा. Yes, so these charges should be signed by 1/4 members of the house. Yes, so these charges of impeachment should be signed by 1/4 members. Yes, 1/4 members of the House, and 14 days notice should be given to the President. Yes, before framing these charges or at the time of framing the impeachment charges, the charges should be signed by 1/4 members of the House, and a 40 days, 1/4, 14 days notice should be given to the President. Yes. So after the impeachment, resolution is passed by a majority of 2/3 of the total membership of that house. Yes. So it is sent to the other house, which should investigate the charges. Now, the impeachment resolution is passed by a majority of 2/3 of the total membership of that house, and then it is sent to the other house. For example, if charges framed in the Rajya Sabha, then after they will pass the resolution with 2/3 of the total members of the Rajya Sabha, and then this resolution is sent to the Lok Sabha, and then Lok Sabha will investigate the charges. This is the vice versa. In case the Lok Sabha framed or then they pass the resolution with a majority of 2/3 of the total membership of the House, and then this resolution is sent to the Rajya Sabha, and that House, that is Rajya Sabha, should investigate the charges. So this is the process of impeachment, and then the President has the right to appear and to be represented as at such investigation. Yes, as we have learned that after the passing the resolution by one house, the resolution will send to the other house, and that house will conduct investigation. Now, in this case of investigation, the President has the right to appear and to be represented at such investigation. Yes, after that, in other house also sustains the charges and passes the impeachment resolution by a majority of 2/3 of the total membership, and then the President stands removed from his office from the date on which resolution is so passed. Yes, when that resolution passed by one house is sent to the other house, then again other house, after the investigation, the other house also sustain the charges and passes the impeachment resolution by a majority of 2/3 of the total membership. Yes, and then President stands removed from his office from the date on which the resolution is so passed. Now, an impeachment is quasi-judicial process. Yes. So, an impeachment is a quasi-judicial procedure in the parliament. So, in this context, two things should be noted. Right now, one is that the nominated members of either house of parliament can participate in the impeachment of the president through they do not participate in the election. See, an impeachment is a quasi-judicial procedure in the parliament. Now, there are two things to be noted, like the nominated members of either house of parliament can participate in the impeachment of the president, though they do not participate in the election. As we have studied in the last lecture, the nominated members of the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha do not participate in the election of the president. But here, in scenario of impeachment, nominated members of the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha can participate. Yes, in the process of impeachment, nominated members of the both house can participate. Yes, now second, the elected members of the legislative assemblies of states and the union territories of Delhi and Puducherry do not participate in the impeachment of the president, though they are participate in his election. Now, second provision is that the elected members of the legislative assemblies of states and union territories, state and UTs of Delhi and Puducherry do not participate in the impeachment of the president. Yes, but now remember that these elected members of the state legislative assemblies and union territories of Delhi and Puducherry legislative assemblies elected member participated in the election of president, but not in the impeachment process of the president. Yes, so this is the quasi judicial procedure of the impeachment. And now just remember, no president has so far been impeached. Yes, no president of India has so far been impeached through this procedure. Yes. Now, after that, vacancy in the president's office. Yes, friends, a vacancy in the president's office can occur in any of the following ways. First, on the expiry of his tenure of 5 years, by his resignation, on his removal by the process of impeachment, or fourth, by his death. So, a vacancy in the president's office can occur in these ways. First, on the expiry of his tenure of 5 years, then by his resignation, on his or third, on his removal by the process of impeachment, or fourth, by his death. Yes. Now, till the date, there are two presidents, Dr. Zakir Hussain and Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad, have died during their term of office. Yes. Now, fifth way for this vacancy in the president offices, when he becomes disqualified to hold office or when his election is declared void. Yes, fifth reason for the vacancy in the president office is when he becomes disqualified to hold office or when his election is declared void. Yes. Now, we'll see the vacancy. Yes, the vacancy is going to be caused by the expiration of the term of sitting president, and election to fill his vacancy must be held before the expiration of the term. Yes, this provision mentioned in the constitution. For example, naturally after the completion of the 5 years of the term, the election to be filled the vacancy must be held before the expiration of the term. Now here just see example, like for the consideration, just the term of the president is expiring on January 22, for example, 1st January 22. Yes, this is not the correct date, we are just taking an example. For example, the term of a president which is going to be expire on 1st January 2022, then the next president should be appointed or elected through the process of election before expiring the term, that is 1st January 2022. Right. Now, in case of any delay in conducting the election of new president by any reason, the outgoing president continues to hold office beyond his term of 5 years until his successor assumes charge. Yes, in case of any delay in conducting election of new president by any reason, the outgoing president continues to hold office beyond his term of 5 years until his successor, that is new president, assume charge. Now, this is provided by the constitution in order to prevent an interregnum. Yes. So this provision provided by the constitution in order to prevent an interregnum. Now, in this situation, the vice president does not get the opportunity to act as president or to discharge the functions of the president. For example, due to any reason, new president not or is there any delay in the conducting the election of new president, then there is no any provision that the vice president can get the opportunity or he can perform the duties of president. So this is not provision in our constitution. Now, in the office falls vacant by resignation. In the second case, if the office falls vacant by resignation, removal, death, or otherwise the election to fill the vacancy should be held within 6 months from the date of the occurrence of such vacancy. Yes, in case office fall vacant by resignation, removal, death, or otherwise, then election to fill the vacancy should be held within 6 months from the date of the occurrence of such vacancy. Now, the newly elected president remains in office for a full term of 5 years. Yes, for example, a president appointed in 2015, for example, we are taking the, now just understand, we'll assume the a president will assume his duties in 2025, and due to some reasons the vacancy created at the president's office like in 2028, yes, after 3 years the office of the president falls vacant by resignation, removal, death, or any other reason, then what happened? Within 6 months, within 6 months, the new president will be elected through election, and again, like for example, from 2028 to 5 years, this new president will perform his duty. Yes, so remember that 3 years will not count it now. Fresh, like after the newly elected president will perform his duty for the 5 years, that is full term of 5 years. Yes, now, when a vacancy occurs in the office of the president due to his resignation, removal, death, otherwise, the vice president acts as the president until new president is elected. Now, in this scenario, if the vacancy falls or the vacancy occurs in the office of the president due to his resignation, removal, death, or otherwise, the vice president act as the president until the new president is elected, means during that 6 months the vice president acts as the president. Now, when the sitting president is unable to discharge his functions due to absence, illness, or any other cause, the vice president discharges his functions until the president resumes his office. Now, next provision or scenario is that when the sitting president of India is unable to perform his duty or unable to discharge his functions due to absence, illness, or any other cause, the vice president discharge his functions until the president resume his office. यस, भारत के राष्ट्रपति किसी कारण की वजह से या एब्सेंस, इलनेस और एनी अदर कॉज उनकी ड्यूटीज और डिस्चार्ज और अनेबल टू डिस्चार्ज हिज फंक्शंस, उनका कार्य नहीं कर सकते, देन इस केस में उपराष्ट्रपति वो ड्यूटीज और एज अ प्रेसिडेंट की जो सारे फंक्शंस हैं वो करेंगे जब तक द प्रेसिडेंट दोबारा ऑफिस और उनकी ड्यूटी शुरू नहीं करते हैं. राइट नाउ, in case the office of the president is vacant, then the chief justice of India is also, yes, in case of office of the vice president is vacant and the chief justice of India is also vacant, the senior most judge of the Supreme Court acts as the president or discharge the function of the president. Now, just remember that as we have learned, in case of the current president or sitting president is unable to discharge his functions, then vice president will perform or discharge his functions. But in case the vice president's office is also vacant and the chief justice of India is also vacant, then senior most judge of the Supreme Court acts as the president or discharge the functions of the president. Yes. Now, here we'll see the example as well. When President Dr. Zakir Hussain died in May 1969, then the vice president V.V. Giri was acting as the president. Soon after, V.V. Giri resigned to contest the election of the president. Then the Chief Justice of India, M. Hidayatullah, worked as the officiating president from 20th July 1969 to 24th August 1969. Yes, when in 1969 Dr. Zakir Hussain died, then the vice president V.V. Giri was acting as the president. But after that, again, V.V. Giri resigned to contest the election of president. Now, the vacancy of the vice president, the designation or the functions of the president performed by the Chief Justice of India from 20th July 1969 to 24th August 1969. Yes, now, when any person that is vice president, now next provision, when any person that is vice president, Chief Justice of India or the senior most judges of Supreme Court is acting as president or discharging the functions of the president, he enjoys all the powers, immunities of the president and is entitled to such emoluments, allowances and privileges as the determined by the president. Now, in this case, if vice president, chief justice or the senior most judge of the Supreme Court is acting as the president or discharging the functions of the president, he enjoys all the powers, immunities of the president and is entitled to such emoluments, allowances and privileges are determined by the president. Sorry, all these such emoluments, allowances and privilege as are determined by the parliament. Yes. Now, after that, we'll see constitutional position of the president. Yes. So, the Constitution of India has provided for a parliamentary form of government. Yes. After the term, impeachment and vacancy of the president, we'll see constitutional position of the president. Right. The Constitution of India has provided for a parliamentary form of government. So, consequently, the president has been made only a nominal executive, then the real executive being the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. Yes, in parliamentary form of government, the president has been made only a nominal executive. Now, and the real executive being the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. Now, in other words, we can say the President has to exercise his powers and functions with the aid and advice. Yes, now remember the term, friends. With the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. Yes, in the parliamentary form of the government, the President has to exercise his powers and functions with the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. Yes, now the Dr. BR Ambedkar summed up the true position of the President in the further way. Yes, now Drafting Committee Chairman Dr. BR Ambedkar summed up the true position of the President like he said that in the Indian Constitution there is, yes, in the Indian Constitution there is placed at the head of the Indian Union a functionary who is called the President of the Union. Yes, in the Indian Constitution, there is placed at the head of the Indian Union a functionary who is called the President of Union, and the title of the functionary remains of the President of the United States. Yes, the title of the functionary remains the President of the United States, but beyond the identity of names, there is nothing in common between the form of government prevalent in America and the form of the adopted under the Indian Constitution. Yes, the American form of government is called presidential system of the government, and what is the Indian Constitution adopted is the parliamentary system. Yes, he mentioned the difference between the USA and India's form of government. Now, under the presidential system of America, the president is the chief head and the executive and administration is vested in him. And under the Indian Constitution, the president occupies the same position as the king under the English Constitution. Yes, he is the head of the state but not of the executive, and he represents the nation but does not rule the nation. Now, he is the symbol of the nation. He plays the administration is that of a ceremonial device or a seal by which the nation's decisions are made known. Now, he is generally bound by the advice of his ministers, and he can also or he can do nothing contrary to their advice, and nor can he do anything without their advice. Yes, the President of the United States can dismiss any secretary at any time, but the President of Indian Union has no power to do so, so long as his ministers command a majority in Parliament. Yes, so these are the comment by the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, sum up by the true position of the President. Yes, now in estimating the constitutional position of the President, particular reference has to be made to the provisions of Article 53, Article 74 and 75. So, there are the executive power of the Union shall be vested in the President and shall be exercised by him either directly or through officers subordinate to him in accordance with the Constitution, which is described in Article 53. Yes, the executive power of the Union shall be vested in President and shall be exercised by him either directly or through officers subordinate to him in accordance with this constitution. Then there shall be a council of ministers with the prime minister at the head to aid and advise the president who shall, in the exercise of his functions, act in accordance with such advice in Article 74. So, there shall be a council of ministers with the prime minister at the head to aid and advise the president who shall, in the exercise of his functions, act in accordance with such advice. Now, the council of ministers shall be collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha. Yes, the council of ministers shall be collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha, which is mentioned in the Article 75. So, this provision is the foundation of the parliamentary system of government. Yes, this provision is the foundation of the parliamentary system of government. Now, the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. Yes, the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976 made the President bound by the advice of the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. Yes, this 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976 made the President bound by the, yes, now remember, the President bound by the advice of the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. Now, in the original constitution, there was no such specific provision in Article 74. Now, next, the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1978, enacted by the Janata Party government headed by Morarji Desai. So, this 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1978 authorized the President to require the Council of Ministers to reconsider such advice either generally or otherwise. However, he shall act in accordance with the advice tendered after such reconsideration. Yes, so 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1978 authorized the President to require the Council of Ministers to reconsider such advice either generally or otherwise. Now, in other words, the President may return a matter once for reconsideration of his ministers, but the reconsidered advice shall be binding to the President of India. Yes, the President may return a matter once for the reconsideration of his ministers, but the reconsidered advice shall be binding. Yes. Now, in October 1997, the Cabinet recommended President K.R. Narayanan to impose President's rule under Article 356 in Uttar Pradesh. Yes, in October 1997, Cabinet recommended President K.R. Narayanan to impose President's rule under Article 356 in Uttar Pradesh, but the President returned the matter for the reconsideration of the Cabinet, which then decided not to move ahead in the matter. Hence, the BJP-led government under Kalyan Singh was saved. Yes, this is the one scenario or event was in October 1997 when Cabinet recommended President to impose President rule in Uttar Pradesh, but the President again returned the matter for reconsideration, and then the government or cabinet decided not to move ahead in this matter. Hence, the government was saved in the Uttar Pradesh at that time. Now, after that, in September 1998, the President K.R. Narayanan written a recommendation of the cabinet that sought the imposition of the President's rule in Bihar, But after a couple of months, the cabinet re-advised same. Then it was only then the president's rule was imposed in Bihar in February 1999. Yes, now second scenario. In October 1997, the president sent cabinet's recommendation for reconsideration and cabinet do not move with that matter then. And in 1998 September, the President K. R. Narayanan written the recommendation of the cabinet to impose president rule in Bihar, but after few months or couple of months, cabinet re-advised the same to impose president rule in Bihar, and then the president rule was imposed in Bihar in February 1999. Now, yes, so though the president has no constitutional discretion, the president has no constitutional discretion, he has some situational discretion. Yes, so the president has no constitutional discretion, but he has some situational discretion, like the president can act on his discretion under the following situation, that is without advice of the ministers, like appointment of prime minister when no party has a clear majority in the Lok Sabha. Yes, so appointment of prime minister when no party has a clear majority in the Lok Sabha, or when a prime minister in office dies suddenly and there is no obvious successor. Yes. Now, second situation is that is situational discretion of president, dismissal of the council of ministers when it cannot prove the confidence of the Lok Sabha. Yes, dismissal of the council of ministers when it cannot prove the confidence of the Lok Sabha. And third situation is dissolution of the Lok Sabha if the council of ministers has lost its majority. Yes. Now, so these are the three situational discretion of the President of India. Now, in today's section, we have covered the term impeachment and vacancy. So, President holds office of a term of 5 years, and he can also be removed from the office before completion of his term by the process of impeachment. Yes, then we have covered process of impeachment of president, then, and just remember, no president has so far been impeached. Then we have covered vacancy in the president's office, and then constitutional position of the president. Yes. Now, yes, as we have covered in the last lectures, elections of the presidents, and these are the presidents of India till the date: Rajendra Prasad, then Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, Zakir Hussain, V.V. Giri, Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad, N. Sanjeeva Reddy, Zail Singh, R. Venkatraman, Shekhar Dayal Sharma, K.R. Narayanan, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, Pratibha Patil, Pranab Mukherjee, and Ramnath Kovind, current President of India. Yes. So that's it for the today's session. Now we'll see the powers of the President in the next lecture. So you can join our Telegram group using this link, and you can use code RBI Live to get 10% discount for the subscription. And also, please like, share, and subscribe Unacademy videos and hit the bell icon for the notification on regular basis. So friends, keep studying, keep revising what we have covered in the polity section. In the next session, we'll continue with the president and his powers. So keep studying, keep learning. All the best. Thank you.